Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. This is Falco Date. I noticed that my YouTube page has garnished a lot of views for this particular gun here, my Mossberg 464. And I figure at this point in time it is maybe appropriate to do a little bit of a review on this gun. I have shot well over 1,000 rounds over the course of a year. Now, I've taken my first deer with her not that long ago, and I feel like I know this gun well enough to be able to give it a fair and honest review. First and foremost, things I like about this gun, why I got this gun. This is my first purchased firearm, just having had received my firearms license. 2.5 or a year and a half ago or so, went shopping, went to Lever Arms in Vancouver, talked to the guys there, tried out a few guns, thought maybe I would get an SKS because that's what everybody has, and then this little beauty caught my eye. And what I liked about it is, well, it's a lever action. These things are fun. These things are these things are fun to play with. It's kind of satisfying to just be able to do this. And that's honestly what hooks me right off the bat. Furthermore, I'm left-handed. So this gun's more or less ambidextrous. For a left-handed shooter, a lever action is actually a great first rifle. I'm going to be flat out and honest in saying that. I think this gun was a perfect first choice for me. I love the wood stock, the wood finish, the black on the barrel, just the finishing overall, the steel. It's beautiful. Fit, I mean, there's a little bit of rattle up here in the front. It's really not too bad. You get a lot worse out of other guns. I think really I paid $500 for this, give or take a little bit, worth every penny. Of course, I'm sure you Americans get a little bit, more bang for your buck there. You guys have a bit of more, well, you don't have the government interference that we do, and you're sure to be able to get this for much less than I did, but, that's the price point up here in Canada. So, like I said, I've been hunting with this recently. What I liked about it, it's a small rifle. It was easy to pack in and out of a truck. It's relatively light. It was not a bad rifle to hike with. Things I didn't like, it doesn't have sling mounts. You have to buy your own, you have to install them. I'm currently in the process of doing so. I got one installed there. I just need to get a screwdriver and, well, not a screwdriver, I need a drill to pre-drill the stock to get the back nut in, and then it'll be good to go. That was my only complaint, really, having to actually haul this around in my hand. But when all said and done, I still killed the deer with it. How I felt a 30-30 performed when it came to killing a deer. Now, I hear a lot of people complain that the 30-30 round is a little bit anemic, it drops too fast, it's not, the perfect bullet. And to that I say, there's no such thing as a really perfect bullet. What I like about it, it's, a light bullet, you can carry a fair number of them. They have a manageable kick, and in a gun like this where you can throw off a lot of rounds very quickly, six in the magazine, 1 in the chamber, you're going, you're set, and you're not going to leave the day with a sore shoulder. So it's great for just target practice and getting used to. I kind of cheated, sorta, in terms of my 30-30 bullet selection. I don't shoot a standard bullet. I shoot these Hornadies, the Lever Revolution bullets. These things are bloody magnificent. When I fired this bullet, I found that I had I gained 3 inches of of elevation shift at 100 meters. It was insane. My groups tightened up by about a minute at angle as well. And, well, I can't complain about this. This is a faster, harder hitting bullet. It is awesome, and for anybody who ever hunts with a lever action gun, anybody who uses 30-30 Winchester, this is the bullet to go with. Now, the standard one doesn't have this plastic tip. It's actually a little bit shorter, rounded up at the top. They're really not as nice looking. But, of course, price point, these are much more expensive to shoot. So, be willing to fork out the money if you're willing to shoot that. But expansion-wise, when I put that bullet through that deer, it annihilated everything. There was no lungs left. There was no heart left. It was dead. And it went clear through. So, it's a powerful 30-30 round. That was a shot at 150 meters. It went clear through the deer and pulverized it. So what I found with the other 30-30 rounds, I found very good expansion properties out of them as well, just having had shot milk jugs and compared them to my other calibers of firearms that I own. I find that the 30-30 round will blow a milk jug clean in half, whereas I'll shoot a 30-06 round at it and it'll split it quite nicely, but I think the knifing action, it just stabs into it, whereas the 30-30 round, it's like you hammer it. It's a very heavy hitting bullet for that short range. So yeah, that's pretty much my thoughts there in terms of the caliber. Improvements you can do to this gun. I've scoped it up. I put some Picatinny mounts up here. It's already pre-tapped. You just go in, you find the right ones. These are Weaver mounts for the Winchester 90. What was it? Winchester 90. You guys are going to yell at me, but the Winchester model of this. So yeah, they work on this gun. This gun's pretty much made to that same pattern with a few minor improvements and a few, other little things, doodads. The scope I picked for this was the Leopold Marke AR. It's a 1.5 to 4-time adjustable scope. It is perfect for this gun. You don't really need to go more than a 4. You could probably try for a 5-time, but I think you're pushing your luck a little bit. The 1.5 to 4 will take you through the entire range of this gun. With the Leverution bullets from Hornady, I figure I could push the ballistic performance of this gun out to about comfortably 250 to 300 meters. But I didn't buy this gun to shoot out that far. I bought it for that range of 50 to 200 meter mark. So I figure this scope is probably your best bet as well if you want to get something similar. And I actually highly recommend getting a scope for this gun because these little iron sights bloody blow. They're terrible. I have a great deal of trouble shooting accurately through them. I have a hard time really adjusting them properly, and I spent hours trying to get this gun to shoot well. So it's upon putting an optic onto this gun that it really came into its own. If you are able to find better irons and you like shooting that way, that is great. I love shooting irons myself. It's just I don't feel this is the gun to really do it with. Something that you've seen demonstrated in the video, of which my buddy is shooting this gun, that is the safety option on here. As you can see, I actuate that. What that is doing is it's disabling the internal safety that prevents this from going off. So what happens, safety check, she's empty. So I go, I squeeze this, I pull the trigger and it goes. You're not able to just willy-nilly squeeze that trigger, so it won't accidentally go off. It also won't go off if you're not holding it properly. If you're being very lazy with the gun, if you're not holding it in tight, you're not going to be able to make that go off. So no flinching, right? If you flinch, you're probably not doing it right, and you're probably not going to make it go off, or at least not off well. Like I said, you saw my buddy do that. It has just a nice little slide safety up here. Works just like that. Nothing really major there, and of course your standard hammer. Really simple gun. Really simple. I love it to death. I highly recommend it. I haven't really had any problems in terms of feeding or shooting with this gun itself. There's something I found once that happened in here where the bullet comes in from the magazine and it gets caught under the feed ramp and it does not feed properly. That can be fixed with a knife, a bullet, your finger, if you feel like really jamming your finger in there hard. It's not a game-ending, it's not going to end your day. Like I say, it's probably 1 in 1,000 shot. It only happened to me once or twice, and I haven't had that problem since. So, yeah, nothing major. In case you're wondering about clearance in the scope, the bullets or the cases will fly off this way, so they're not going to be directly fed up and out, so you're not going to be clipping your scope, which is great if you intend on keeping your scope in a nicely finished manner. And yeah, that's almost all I can say. It's a nice, short, pointable gun. It's a lot of fun to shoot, and I hope to be seeing a lot more out there. Alright, thank you very much. Have yourself a good evening. I'll hopefully talk to you all again soon. Have a good night.